Alright, that's alright. Now... Okay. Here we go. What are we doing right now? We're back here. Also, we're done with the catacombs. What's our task say? Decide Aeon's fate. I met an Orla named Aeon down in the catacombs. He told me he's being hunted by the Crucible Knights for the crime of murder. He's trying to flee Defiance Bay, but doesn't have enough pens to get out of the city. Has begged me to keep his secret long enough that he can gather the necessary coin. Parable of Weil, retrieve the golden scroll. Path to Durwood. Find the heirloom breastplate. Oh, in first fires. Alright. And Blackenbury Sanitarium. Alright. So now we can either go to Blackenbury or First Fire. Since Blackenbury is closer, we'll explore this area first, I guess. Blackenbury. 12 minutes. Oh my god. Such a long time. How's this map look? Alright. We have a couple of things here. The Charred Barrel, which I bet is a tavern. Raymond Manor. House Dominel. The Sanitarium. And Hadred House. Let's explore one by one here. Charred Barrel. See what's in the tavern. Oh, this looks fancy. Heartless bitch. Thristven, I guess. The young elf is dressed in gaudy robes that he seems ready to cast off. He picks at a heavily brocaded sleeve and continually adjusts the gold chain around his neck. He looks up at you. Did she send you to run me out of town? You can tell her I'm not going anywhere without the medallion. I told Cyril I wouldn't let her sell it. If that's what you hear about, then save yourself the trouble. Puffs up his chest and glances at the exit. What are you talking about? He relaxes. If you have to ask, then you're obviously not here to shake me down. Sarah's a courtesan over at the Salty Mast in Ondra's Gift. We've been working together for over a year now. I find a noble with more money than sense, fill him up with liquor, and send him her way. They have a good time, and Cyril takes her fee, and a little extra. He rubs his fingers together. 100 coppers here, a trinket there. It's a bounty for us, and these lords and ladies never notice anything missing. We've been honest so far, so let's say that's dishonest. He narrows his eyes. It's surviving. He points a finger at one ruby ring, catches the light. If those nobles have more wealth... if those nobles have more wealth than they can hang on to, why should they keep it? Anyway, we always split the bounty until a week ago. He squeezes his lips into a tight frown. She takes a necklace off of some noble, is sitting with a medallion, damn near priceless. That relic is sacred to my clan, but she won't part with it for any sum. For any sum I could afford, at least. He tugs at the gold chain around his neck. And even if I wanted to, I can't go home without it. Sagani's brow furrows in pity. That's a hard thing. You're both a couple of cheats and you're finally getting what you deserve. I mean we've been honest so far, but not in a lawful good kind of way. This seems a bit lawful good. Too lawful good for me. Tell me more about your situation. Picks at the hem of his sleeve. What do you want to know? Tell me about Cyril. She's a courtesan at the Salty Mast over in Ondra's Gift. She wasn't born to much, but she's done what she has in order to escape that. He gazes at a string of amber beads around his wrist. She's a good friend. He folds his arms in his trailing, wrinkled sleeves. Without her, I'd probably be living hand to mouth like the rest of the Shattering Spear, but this isn't about her or me. It's about the 40 people in my clan and the way of life we've held for generations. I grew up in near Glanfeth with the Shattering Spear clan. We Glanfethans have protected Angwithan ruins for thousands of years. It's the one duty the god asks of us in exchange for the freedom to live as we please. He fidgets with an emerald ring on his pinky. But treasure hunters looted the ruins in our territory, and we left the wilds we dwelled in for generations. Most of my clan mates scattered to towns around the Deerwood and probably live on crusts of bread. He looks at his embroidered robes with disgust. Restoring this medallion to the ruins would earn us the god's forgiveness. The Shattering Spear could go home. This is all rather fascinating. A single medallion to earn the god's favor and so return home. It rather reminds me of a story I heard somewhere. He clenches his heavily adorned hands. It was this or scrape by in the gutters like the rest of my clan. But I'd give it all for that medallion. I offered to, but it's worth more than anything I've got, and Cyril knows it. I still don't understand why you can't take your money and return to Ir Glanfeth. Of course I could, but that's not the point. A community isn't a place, it's a connection to history and meaning. He makes circles with his wrist, like an anchor. Defending the ruins for the gods gave us a purpose. Without that, we're adrift. Does this make any sense to you? I'm not sure yet. He looks at you, almost with pity. I don't know how else to explain it. It's all I wanted to ask. I'll see about getting the medallion. You'll find her at the Salty Mast. The only way anyone sees her these days is by paying, so you'll have to go through Maya. He fidgets with his sleeve. But whatever you do, please don't hurt her. Right. The Charred Barrel is the finest inn in the city if you're looking for lodging. The scripts and props belong to a production of The Most Unfortunate Tale of Favia and Burnett. Understudy. More of this crap. Noble, noble, noble. Can we talk to you?
Gods keep you.
Abelhard Skarian. The man is dressed in neat but functional clothes. His sun-wrinkled skin and limber musculature reflect a life spent in the wilderness. Well met. What brings you to the Charred Barrel? Who are you? I was a cartographer for the Duck for decades. He rubs his neatly stubbled cheek. Crossed the White March half a dozen times and mapped most of the ruins of Thane Bog. He grins, flashing a gold tooth. A good career, but one suited to younger men. When I came back to Defiance Bay for good, Cliver and a few other friends in the Knights helped me get the rights to refurbish this place. Oh no. The dialogue box is bugged again, right? So I fear... I don't know what this is. Maybe I'm messing something up, but last time we had to restart the game to get it fixed. So much restarting the game. Continue.
Hey.
Yeah?
Hey. Welcome.
Is this your place? It is my retirement, he thumps the bar. Used to be a warehouse back when Blackenbury saw more ship traffic, but it fell out of use when the area became mostly residential. I inherited it from some great uncle who'd never had any luck pawning it off to my cousins. Now, it's the most popular spot in Blackenbury. The nobles come to unwind, and kith from other districts come to mingle. He leans closer. We get a few rough types too, but they behave in here. Sides, their coin's as good as anyone else's. Yeah, no.
Hey. Well met, friend.
Show me your menu. No.
Hello.
What kind of rooms does he have? Oh, +2 perception, +1 stealth. +2 intellect. +10 will. Oh. Neat. Neat. We don't need to rest yet, though.
Yeah?
Please don't track dirt into my kitchen. The patrons here are particular. What's in the basement? Bandits, huh? The proprietor has collected a respectable variety of bottles from around the world, from tart Edinburgh reds to sweet summer wines of Rawatai. Get some vegetables. Pale yellow and deep amber whiskies from the Durwood and the Living Lands rest side by side. And flasks of infamous Soulburn of the Deadfire Archipelago are nestled next to crystal clear Nasitaki and Glenfellan spirits. The oven smells of roast game hen and baking bread. Upstairs, probably just the sleeping rooms, huh? Pirate. Merewith? Oh, for a moment I thought Merewald. Almost. Merewith watches you through kohl-rimmed eyes. She puts her hand on the hilt of her blade, jangling the jewels that hang from her wrist. We don't know each other, stranger. Best we keep it that way. What brings you? You don't seem like a Blackenbury local. I'm a sailor, she gives you a half-smile, and a liberator of certain goods. Merewith casually fingers a large earring. And the nice thing about the snobs here is that they're usually too polite to ask more. What brings you here? She raises an eyebrow. What's it look like? Good wine and a little peace and quiet. She flips a copper coin with her thumb, and Skarian doesn't ask too many questions. I'll be going. Goodbye. This map charts routes through the White March. An ixamittal water jug fashioned from white clay. More du geste. This map of the Deerwood and Air Glanfath appears to predate the discovery of some of the ruins in the east. It's signed by the cartographer A. Skarian.
This calls for a subtle touch.
No. No. This ashtray is painted with colorful waves and walls in the style of the Rawatai. Okay, seems to be everything here. Raymond Manor. Servants and guards. The labels, all perfectly angled outward, boast an array of fine vintages. However, they're all coated in dust. Lynette. Father never reads to me. He's always busy with his own books. That's too bad. The ledger lists quantities of wheat, copper, and wool. A deep crease along the spine suggests the book never closes.
Gods keep you.
Lord Raymond holds a shipping manifest in his well-manicured hands. Despite his expensive clothes, he has the sallow complexion and restless air of a man who devotes all of his days and most of his nights to work. If you have business to discuss, make an appointment with my attendant. I don't have time for unexpected visitors. He snaps the pages in his hands. I am lord of this house, and not prone to idle chatter. If you have no business here, I suggest you be off. Okay.
This calls for a subtle touch.
I'll just unlock your chest, but not take anything. Goodbye. House. Yeah, let's go to this one. Anything up here? Oh, some flowers. Oh. I could enter through this window, but why should I? The mortared stone wall is sheltered by the what? Eaves? A knotty green vine climbs all the way up to an open window. Two ornate shutters seem to beckon you in. Test the vines. You give the vines a shake. They are thick and sturdy in your hands, but near the top they look flimsier. You might be able to make it to the top if you're quick. Toss a grappling hook. Cast your grappling hook and it catches onto the windowsill. The rope remains taut as you put your weight on it. Bracing your legs against the wall, you climb the rope. You perch atop the windowsill and steady yourself against the frame while the breeze cools your back. You detect movement inside the house. Blinking as your eyes adjust to the dim interior, you slip inside the manor. I don't know why I'm doing this. I guess because I can, right? Let's take some stuff. Oh.
This something.
A secret door.
I see where you're going with that.
Fine large shield.
Come on, not like this.
You dead. Alright. I should have looked for traps, really.
Sure.
Oh? Why is there a guard suddenly?
Come on, not like this. 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 Come
There wasn't last time.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet.
You cannot disarm the
This
trap.
calls for a subtle touch.
No. Maybe
Following your
he
lead.
can trigger it without dying, I don't know. That didn't do much damage. Oh. You also spotted an enemy, huh? Oh, now it's hit him. Alright.
As you say.
Heart of White March. War guards.
Hey there. Sure.
Hey. Keeping an eye out.
This calls for a subtle touch.
These apples look too vividly crimson to be real.
Show him how it's done!
That was easy. This is the masterwork of a famous Zeduran painter. Though exquisitely grafted, this love seed feels stiff and uncomfortable. I guess that's all, right? If I go down here, do they all attack me now? They're like, what are you doing up there? No? Alright. Goodbye. Guess it won't be long before they find their guards dead and naked upstairs. Another trader. There isn't so much as a spot on these oranges. Yeah, we get it. It's very well to do here. The marble is cool and perfectly smooth. Droplets of crystal clear water beat the statues. Ark of the Gath. Nope. Dominal Doorman.
Gods keep you.
The burly guard eyes you warily. I don't recognize you. What business do you have with House Derminal? Tell me about yourself. It's an old and respected family. Much of Defiance Bay prosperity is due to Derminal business activities. Now, do you have any further business here? Sir, I will see you out. Alright. This is to First Fire's Sanitarium, this is to Andra's Gift. Now we just have Hedred House. Lots of noble houses here. They have a fountain inside. Agent. Curran's wasting his time with those disappearances. A link. Yes, I am certain of it. This map shows the environment surrounding Defiance Bay. Flags mark strategic access points to the city. The scrolls are wedged tightly in the shelves. Each has a name scrolled along the outside.
Welcome.
The Orlan man is surrounded by books and scrolls. His wiry hair stands nearly on end, and his ears prick up as you approach. You carry whispers, Caer Nua, Gilded Vale, old voices indeed. You're a cipher like me, I'm guessing. He grins, revealing a row of dagger-pointed teeth. You guess what you must surely know. My own modest abilities suggest that yours are most formidable. Would be quite useful here, of all places. His ears twitch downward. A pity, then, that my duties for Lady Webb require me to focus my talents elsewhere. He regards a table piled with scrolls. What brings you to Dunred Row? Tell me more about your skills. I check for soul connections, looking for lost things, missing things, or troublesome things, particularly where people of power and influence are concerned. I'm a cipher. In Ear Glanfeth we were once known as Brishalgwyn, Mind Hunters. Nice title, yes, but it wasn't until the animancers began working with my kind 40 years ago that we truly understood our power. Now, we make some of the best detectives in the world. Tracing souls, we can look at a person and see where they have been, or look at a weapon and see who has touched it. His nose twitches as he looks at you. Useful for solving crimes, as you can imagine. Curran wags a clawed finger. Not at liberty to discuss my work, unfortunately. Dunred Row, ears only. A civilian would need the confidence of Lady Webb before I could share. What are you so busy with? His small, furry hands gesture expansively at the papers before him. Hollowborn, growing unrest, and the ever-present political figures. With so many missing souls, missing persons are the least of our concerns these days. Farewell. This is all stealing, I presume. Either these notes are written in code, or the author's handwriting is atrocious. A group of notes speculate about the identity and location of a secret sect in Defiance Bay.
Consider it done.
Yeah.
Give me a real challenge. Consider it done.
XP! Affixed to the wall are leads in a case involving apparently a caravan that disappeared en route to New Hiomar. That's all, yes, yes.
Well, whatever happens, at least we're out of that mud hole, Gilded Vale. I grew up in Gilded Vale. Quaint. That's what I meant to call it. You had it right.
Quaint. Nedin?
Welcome.
A woman stands in the shade of the garden, muttering to herself. She's fixated on the pages of a large and well-worn tome, seemingly oblivious to the blooming flowers and the cool, fragrant breeze. She only looks up when your shadow crosses her page. Do you mind? I'm rather busy. What are you so busy with? She snaps the book shut. I'm studying soul attachment. We all know that souls move into people at birth and out of them at death. But we still have a lot of questions about what makes them stick, so to speak. What do you mean about making them stick? She brushes a stray lock from her forehead. Souls power bodies and give their tissues life, but only when they're firmly attached. It's separation that leads to a whole spate of soul-related problems, including the Hollowborn. But if we understood how to reattach souls, we could end Wild One's legacy. Maybe even conquer death. She scratches behind her ear. That's the theory, anyway. Unfortunately, I don't have all the research I need to put it into practice. There's a manuscript called The Theorems of Pangram. It contains research from Pangram's experiments on detached souls. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rumored to have a copy in the Elder Archives. Pangram's works considered to be one of the more daring animancy texts, not something generally circulated among novices, nor easy to get a hold of. I wonder if we might have a peek in it. The theorems could advance my research by leaps and bounds, but Grimda, the High Archivist, worships Wael, which means she has some paradoxical views on sharing and restricting knowledge. And since she's not exactly a proponent of animancy, she tends to restrict the kinds of information that would be useful to me. Maybe she could be persuaded. You're welcome to try, but you wouldn't be the first. Anyway, I should probably get back to my work. I have some questions about the theorems. Such as? Tell me about them. Pangram was an animancer working for the Durwood, in the Durwood. He had some interesting theories about essence and some rather innovative techniques for studying it. He was able to reattach souls to bodies after death, although he wasn't able to prevent his patients from degenerating. He was controversial, to say the least, but many are starting to realize that he was merely ahead of his time. What do you mean by degenerating? Nedin twists her hands together. Well, there seems to be a tiny problem with reattaching souls after death. The bodies will reanimate and may even retrain memories and personality, but they develop a hunger for flesh, living, soul-infused flesh. Without it, they start to devolve, decaying mentally and physically. If the process goes too far, which it eventually does, they become mindless corpses, attacking anything that moves. We haven't figured out a way to avoid that. That is more than an inconvenient side effect. You've produced an unnatural curse with little to show for it. Sounds like necromancy. Nonsense! Necromancy is magic. This is science. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rather protective of its books, especially the rarer ones, and Grimda in particular. She hates animancy, thinks it's dangerous. I don't see how you can run the greatest library in Durwood and be so adverse to the spread of knowledge and research. But I've never understood these religious types. Eloth scowls at the animancer. Some knowledge is best kept under lock and key. You'll find it in the Copperlane district. It's dedicated to the god of secrets and revelations. Most importantly, it houses the largest and most expansive library in the Durwood. Well, that settles it. We must go see it, right? What are the Elder Archives? The Elder Archives hold the rarest, most arcane, and most powerful texts in the Durwood. Think of it as the inner sanctum of the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Needless to say, you need Grimdar's permission to enter. That's all I wanted to ask. Tell me about yourself, though. I'm an animancer at the sanitarium. Currently, I'm researching matters related to Moedred's legacy. Moedred's legacy refers to the rise in hollow-born children in the Durwood in recent years. Some have also connected it to so-called beerworks that blow through Ir Glenfath. There's hardly any reliable data on those, though, so I can't really comment. I don't much care for the term Moedred's legacy. It reeks of superstition, but it's too prevalent to change it at this point. Personally, I'd like to see people take a more methodical approach to these matters rather than throwing up their hands and blaming the gods. Don't think Durwoodians would see too much fun in that. I'll leave you alone. Farewell. Sanitarium. This table is set with an assortment of leaflets and booklets with titles like Practical Benefits of Animancy and Soul Adjustment for the Well-Adjusted Soul. Verna. Nope. What your soul may be trying to tell you. Pyramid. New. Oh, there's a staircase. This painting of Rolling Forest Glen has a strangely soothing effect. Head Warden Ethelmore. These books, these look like field sketches of Angwithan ruins and artifacts. A well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down and blinking over the bustle of harried academics pestered by the hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from it that you could sense from across the room. There is a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned towards you. It's been some time since a watcher graced these halls. His voice echoes deeply, rumbling the floor beneath you. I am envious of your natural insights, traveler. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Now, what is it that has brought you to my sanitarium? I'm looking for an animator named Moedred. But first, tell me about the sanitarium. A history lesson. This is a rare pleasure. Most come in here only concerned with cheating death in one way or another. We're an old institution as Durwood goes. This is our 94th year. As with many cities, the growth of Defiance Bay brought with it a host of problems. One of the worst was that those born with, shall we say, ill-favored souls came to populate its streets in droves. Thus the sanitarium. Blackenbury was a natural fit. It was growing, but there was also a lot of money here back then. This place owes its survival to the curiosities of the wealthy more than anything, I think. Our founding came at a time of great suspicion in animancy, much like today. So much progress had been lost to the mishaps of a few careless practitioners. but in time it was forgotten, as all things are. Since then we have been at the forefront of animancy's resurgence. We've played host to many gifted researchers, and pushed the boundaries of our knowledge in ways never thought possible. Some of the first safe transferences were done here, and we have pioneered work in soul purification, lineage analysis, preservation. It's really quite a list, if you'll pardon my pride. Today it's, well, I can't say it's exactly the same. There's been some push to shut us down. It comes from Durwood's more excitable denizens, whose minds are more passionate than thoughtful, I'm afraid. People see this legacy, and they see it involves something they don't understand. So it's natural for them to suspect people whose understanding exceeds theirs. It looks to them like we're hiding something. We have a representative in the palace at this very moment, defending the entire science of animancy at a hearing before the Duke. Absurd as it sounds, the Duke, I guess. Absurd as it sounds. If it does not go well, it could be the end of animancy in Durwood. I fear Aeva might be swayed by all this unrest, irrational though it may be. We shall see. In the statue, you mean? Well, I was old, and it seemed wrong to me. A lifetime spent in pursuit of discovery, only to lose all these in death. Somewhere, someday, I would wake up in a new body, none the wiser, and pursue a different course entirely. All that experience wasted. So, if we're ever to unearth principles behind our existence, it will be in spite of our condition, or of that I am quite sure. To live on as part of something I helped build seemed to me a better legacy than what nature had in store. The transfer itself was quite simple as our techniques go, and for that I am grateful. Playing with the souls is far easier to accept when they're not your own. I do miss being able to take an active role in the scholarly efforts here. Now and again one of our animancers will humor me and consult over the same problem, but they are a jealous breed and are too often afraid to collaborate. If you are considering it yourself, I can tell you that it isn't for the easily bored. Moedred? Moedred, of course. You'll find him downstairs in the first room on the right. Okay, let's go downstairs. Bella Sage. This strange device seems to thrum with power.
Good day to you.
A woman paces back and forth, her feet crunching on the soft red carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pores over pages of notes. She almost walks into you. Ecosi, here I am, looking so hard for answers in my research that I do not see a kith standing in front of me. What can I do, you? What can I do? What do you do here? According to my research grant, I study awakenings. Sublimating pre-awakened souls has been one of Animancer's greatest successes, and I'm working on a method to replicate the process on awakened souls. But the truth is that I find few suitable subjects here. White One's legacy has left plenty of awakened souls, but most are too broken for study. I fear I will return to Revoir with nothing to show for my efforts. She scratches her chin. Most interesting, but not the kind of awakening I can study, I'm afraid. I need someone whose awakened soul can be triggered with predictable stimuli. Souls such as these tend to manifest as alternate personas in the host. She gives you a broad, if strained smile. But thank you for the offer. Something else you need? It's a dynamic and respected field. Even the Belrek incident did little to slow it. She shrugs. People in the Republics are more accepting of risk, less superstitious, ready to try anything that shows promise. It's a shame that so many here are so hostile. It is, but such is the way of the Durwood. These people here are fierce about their sovereignty, but they're not so independent from their Ediran brothers and their Glenfathan neighbors as they would like to think. They rely too much on the mysterious workings of the gods and fear the advances they need. Doesn't Durrance have something to say about this? The edges of the cage are dented and scored with claw marks. Oh, well. In the corner of Moedred's lab rests a large weathered trunk. It seems likely to contain something important, if only by virtue of its size. The lack of dust on the trunk's surface and the long scratches on the tiles, on the tile flooring, suggest that the trunk is frequently used and moved throughout the laboratory, despite its considerable size. Deep yet narrow gouges score the wood at the edges of the trunk. They look like claw marks. You take the key you acquired from Helig and place it in the lock. It fits perfectly and turns with a solid clunk. The trunk holds no grimoires or treasures. Instead, you find yourself staring into the feral gaze and to the maw of a twisted, monstrous creature. Its humanoid form has been overwhelmed by bony angles and terrible claws. With a start, you recognize the vague shape of a young girl beneath the elongated, malformed bones and greyish skin. It skulls and leaps from the trunk, not toward you, but toward Moedred. Moedred has no time to scream before his throat is torn out. Well, we don't want that. I want to talk to him first, of course. I hope. It's not been ages since I saved. Alright, let's do the autosave then. Can just quickly go through the dialogue with
Sure.
that Valian woman. Bella Sej.
Hello.
Okay. Unexpected results. The canine host was listless and unresponsive, but it was determined that this was simply the implanted feline soul. Yarn resulted in vigorous stimulation. An animancer scribbles feverishly on a parchment scroll while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over his scroll, he looks up at you with a mingled perplexity and irritation.
Well met, friend.
He forces a polite smile. Can I help you? What are you working on? My area of focus is Wichts, more specifically how to cure them. A hollowbone who received a transplanted animal soul during infancy. One of Animancy's early efforts to cure the legacy, if not a successful one. He removes his spectacles and wipes his brow. They show signs of developmental abnormalities throughout their childhood, but when they reach adolescence, they become aggressive. Feral, but still victims in need of care. Seems like an odd solution. We animancers were trying to do something about the crisis, better than letting it swallow a generation of children. He stares at a fixed point on the far wall, and despite the controversy, it only went so far because at first it seemed to work. People called it the salvation. Children that had never been responsive to any kind of stimuli suddenly seemed aware of their surroundings, of their families. He takes a slow breath. The complications didn't begin until puberty, but that's when the incompatibilities between body and soul take shape. Children become violent, ravenous. But we paid dearly for our mistake, I promise you. Angry mobs hunted down animancers and buried down their homes, with them still inside, often as not. People took to calling it the cruel salvation, and many still loathe us for it, but we wanted to stop the legacy as much as anyone. The public begged for our help, and we did the best we could. I still don't know if that absolves us. Why do you study them? He huffs. What kind of question is that? Just think of all the families that could be healed, the lives that could be restored. What would be more important? His face has reddened, and he turns away from you for a moment. He shakes his head. Animancy has an answer here. I know it. It's simply a matter of working it out. Good. He looks eager to return to his work. Does the name Helig mean anything to you? Helig? A colleague of mine. He was primarily a necromancer, but he was involved in animancy too. He worked at the sanitarium for several years. I dare say everyone here has heard of him. He left his post recently. I believe he was seeking new opportunities in the Valian Republics. He leans forward. The advances they're making in animancy really are quite remarkable. Surely you've heard. Perhaps you haven't. Do you know a woman named Rowena? No, I don't get out of the sanitarium much. I've heard differently. He slides his spectacles down his nose. Just what are you insinuating? If this is your idea of a joke, I assure you it's in very poor taste. You wouldn't. I've had enough of these baseless... Wait, you spoke to Helig? But that's... If anyone figured out how to do that, it would be him, wouldn't it? He sighs and runs a hand over his hair. Very well. Yes, I killed him. I killed that beast because nobody else had the spine for it. He was a madman. Years of perverse experiments, twisting healthy souls, torturing damaged souls, and for what? You flay the essence from Glenfethan ingredients for his amusement. He waves down the hall. If the public had known half of his deeds, they'd have razed this place to the ground. He japs his finger on the desk. He used the sanitarium to disguise his own sick proclivities. He brought shame on all of us, and put the entire discipline at risk. I regret nothing. He calms down and sizes you up. Anyway, now you know the whole grisly story. The reputation of the whole discipline, rather. You realize there are groups in this city looking for an excuse to have us all hanged. I won't see the knowledge we've worked so hard for lost because of one man's madness. His grimoire? What's that madman been telling you? Said you keep it in that trunk over there. Moedred takes the key with a trembling hand, his eyes darting to the trunk behind you. You've been misled. There's no grimoire here, and Helig never intended you to find one. That wretched thing has an insatiable hunger for blood. Thank you for denying him. I hope I can convince you now to return and slay him once and for all. Moedred nods, revealed. Good. I'm glad someone finally will. I must return to my work. I wish you well.
Greetings.
Then be quick about it and don't touch anything. The sanitarium has a lax visitor policy, but I don't. Okay. So that's Moedred. I guess we'll have to get back and kill that other guy now. What's his name again? Well, anyway. This one we can't open without a key. This one we can, but I don't think there was anything in here, huh? Ew, just a cage. What's in here? Do they let me in? Sometimes we get people in here trying to make trouble for the animancers. I wouldn't mind being better armed. Alright. Nothing then, I guess.
You must.
You must gather your party before venturing forth. Yeah. I've seen everything in here, yes. And now, which quest was that? All right, I could go back to the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Ondra's Gift, Helig of Fane. In the catacombs, that's right. So I guess I'll go back here. Go back to the catacombs and then to the library to get that book. Copper Lane, 12 minutes, sure.
Have you ever Kurt Wizard?
Catacombs are here.
Don't pawn your personal problems off on me.
They will use you, cast you off when it suits them. Never speak another word to you.
Maybe they just don't answer to fiery whore.
Okay, where was he at? I think that was here, right? Right. Let's go and kill him. Can't be that hard. Just a single guy. Oh, that's Aeorn. Oh. Where's that other guy? Oh, that was that here? I think it was. There's still traps here that I can't disarm, so let's make sure we go this way. Oh, he does have like 3 zombies there, but still. I mean, did you find my grimoire? I spoke to Moedred. He doesn't have your grimoire. Helig lets out a bubbling hiss of frustration. There's not much fun in a joke if you have to explain it, is there? He tucks a few hairs out of his beard. If you can't fulfill my need for vengeance, then you'll have to serve another purpose. Dried and shriveled tongue darts over his cracked lips. I'm afraid a fierce hunger was awakened along with me. Alright. Oh, that's right. My main is like one hit away from death. So let's just hope she isn't targeted. Yeah, you can activate your healing right away. Exactly what he's doing. You can activate your... Alright. Our main got killed. Yeah, we gotta keep her back a bit. Because other than her, our party is still doing relatively fine. See, our tank's still at half health, and we also have like quite a few of our spells. So
Hey there.
I don't want to rest quite yet.
Aye?
And yeah, I think it's fine if we just keep her out of the fray for a while. Moedred told me about your experiments. I can't let your research continue. Passionate too. Helig lets out a bubbling hiss of frustration. You're even more self-righteous than he is. If it were left to people like Moedred, animancy would be little more than sorting in within pottery. We'd be as stuck in time as those hut dwellers. He gestures at the table in front of him. Everyone wants immortality, but nobody wants to know what it costs. Tremor passes through him. He clutches at his stomach. Costs indeed. There's a purpose that you can serve. Alright. Pow. Yep. Knock him over. Spellcaster's down. That's good. I guess now we can have her join. Because the damage is really too good to pass up on. Yep. Alright, there we go.
Hey there.
Oh. A soul prowls within the bloodstone like a caged stelgar. It's filled with a fierce, restless energy. Who are you? You see an image in your mind of a woman in heavy leather armor, bearing twin daggers. Next to her is a man, young and handsome, who calls her Rowena. The vision shifts to a windswept plain next to a lake. 50 men and women in matching leathers lay dead, their bodies contorted and deformed by some sinister sorcery. Rowena falls among them, her body collapsing next to the young man you saw earlier. She's too weak to speak, but the name Dalton appears in your mind. A lone figure strides across the battlefield, barely bothering to step over the corpses. His eyes are filled with an unnatural light and fixed on Rowena. He reaches out to her, and what little life remained in her body departs. When he takes the amulet from around her neck, you feel her anguished soul trapped within it. With a final contemptuous glance at the fallen Dalton, the man departs. Dalton sent me to find you. The soul pulses with warmth. It fills your mind with memories of a young man who's both bold and generous. But fury and despair gnaw those images away until all you can feel are cold crimson walls, pressing against you and something loathsome feeding off of you as the years faded to decades. What do you want? You see an image of the amulet shattering and the soul inside rising and dissipating among the stars. Farewell. Tarnished locket.
All right then.
I think that's it. What's the quest say? Return to Dalton in Copper Lane. I recovered an amulet containing Rowena's soul. Giving this to Dalton would likely bring him comfort, albeit at Rowena's expense. I doubt she's enjoyed being held prisoner in it for so many years. So, is there an alternative? Can I destroy it? Maybe we get to decide once we get to the dialogue with the guy. Also, we get a new grimoire. Anything in there we don't know yet? No. Fan of Flames, yeah. We have all those already. Fine Scepter. Fine Large Shield. What is he using? A fine large shield. Alright. I was suspecting as much. So let's go up top. Oh? Oh, the enemies are respawning, I guess. Where are we at? Just don't kill her.
Mm-hmm. Hey there.
Pew pew!
And what does the flame reveal?
Yes, what does it reveal? We're still in fast mode, hey? That's fine. Who are you again? Skinflint? I don't think we've spoken yet, have we? Oh, just one of those things. Where was the dude at? I think here, huh? Stood like next to this tree or something. Dalton.
How
yeah.
do you do?
His tired eyes brightened. Did you find her? Not as you expected. Helig bound her soul in this amulet. Since I found it, I'm keeping it. The old man studies the amulet. Ravenna used to wear this. Where did you get it? From your old adversary, Helig. He trapped her soul inside it. I mean, I haven't been benevolent before, but I don't know. Do I want to be benevolent here? Do I want to do this? Do I want to set her free? Do I not really care? See what he says. Dalton's eyes widen in horror. No, please! After searching for her for so long, just to have her close to me, to visit her in my dreams, that would be enough. Intellect. Enough for you, but what about her? If you'd keep her trapped in this amulet for the sake of your own comfort, you're no better than the wizard who imprisoned her. You're right. Please, let me do it. He draws a club with a trembling hand and crushes the amulet. As the gem cracks, you feel essence rush from it. The old man looks at the shattered gemstone. Thank you for showing me reason. Perhaps she'll wait for me in the next life. He looks at his hands, shaking. By the flame, she won't have to wait long. Please, take this. He hands you the club. It's from my old adventuring days. I think it's fine. I think it's time I finally let them go. Thank you. My Ravenna and I can finally have peace. Is the club any good? Also, I'm gonna put all this into the Baratheon priest robes. I won't really be needing them anymore. Whiteleaf, Cocoa, Merciless Gaze, Morning Star. Spirit Shield. Now we can combine those and put them up here. And then, yeah, fine rope can go away. Oh, what's this? That's the club, okay. Let's, yeah, let's see here. So his hatchet is 11 to 15, 12 to 17, also fast. Right, let's do it like this. It's also fine, and it's crush damage, plus 5 accuracy. I mean, crush damage is usually better than slash anyways. But plus 5 deflection is of course very good for a tank. Also the burn damage kind of alleviates the slightly lower damage. 60R bypass is pretty big of course. Plus 20% damage against prone, stunned and flanked enemies. That's pretty decent though, especially with his knockdown. One zoned by the Glenfethan barbarian Barderwin Cavaldar, this club has ended the life of many an opponent. Barderwin was known to rush headlong into every battle, swinging the club over his head, shouting, Dial 11 Dibitar, vengeance just and merciless. Even in victory, Barderwin was relentless, using the club to dispatch wounded or captive foes where they lay. In time, the battle cry came to be associated with the weapon itself, remembered long after Barderwin's death. Yeah, sure, I'll use that one for a while. I mean, let's have a look at what those do exactly. 50 endurance over 15.6 seconds, alright, that's always good. Potion of power, attack speed and max endurance. This is kind of in preparation for a fight. And move speed, that's not very important. Plus 3 DR. That's pretty good for tough fights, I reckon. Hits converted to crits, oh. I guess we should give that to her. Then also have him carry the potion of power. And the move speed potion can just go here, I guess. Don't really have a use for it. Major regeneration. Yeah, I'll have that one around though. Oil. Minor recovery. That's another one of minor regen. What's this? Iron skin. Oh! Plus 8 damage reduction until hit or critically hit. Well, that's not that great then. So that's 3 of those. That's minor regen and major regen. So this takes, yeah, 50 over 15 seconds, and that's 100 over 19 seconds. Alright. You have those two for preparation. All the grimoires will be with Aloth, of course. Oh, what? He doesn't actually know Consular's Training Touch. Alright. Let's amend that, shall we? Also, how much is it? 300 or something, right? Yeah, it's cheap. He knows all these. Oh, he doesn't know binding web. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna teach him all of this. Wait, I had this already, yeah. Merwald's Grimoire, also Bulwark against the elements. Sure. Not going to use it much, I think. And Ghost Blades. But he might as well know them. Do we have 4th level 3 spell, maybe? Yeah, we can put this into the Grimoire just as well. But I think I'm fine with the other ones. Or let's have another look, maybe. Level 2, we have the Necrotic Lance. We have the Ray of Fire. The one we are using the most by far is the Rolling Flame, but that's pretty good as well. And I still think Ray of Fire can be very powerful if used right, but there's not so many situations where it's very viable. What's this one do exactly? Corrode damage has endurance over. Oh. 58.1. So this is on top of each other, right? So that's like 45 damage and then another 35 over 6 seconds. So that's about 80. So that'd be more than this one. Of course, this one restores caster's endurance as well, but I don't know. I don't really need to have my mage tank, so I don't think that's necessary. Yeah, same here. Dexterity reduced by 2. Movement and reflex. I mean, that makes them... I mean, it's more debuffs. I was, with this one, this mage I was going more for just straight up damage. I think I'm happy with those. Only one I could be taking out is maybe Combusting Wounds, but Defeated Caress maybe. Target paralyzed for 10 seconds. That's not bad. And then Sickened. Sure, let's replace the Combusting Wounds with this one for now. Paralyzing an enemy can be pretty good in combat, I feel. And first level, I mean, the Fan of Flames is just brilliant. The Chill Fog's often pretty good. I mean, I wasn't thinking of this so much in the last fights, but we could do it if we really need to disengage someone. But then again, it doesn't seem so useful. Yeah, just the caster though. Parasitic Staff. No. Ghost Blades. No. Or Field of Unearthly Blades into existence. I mean, maybe that's not so bad actually. I need to see the AoE of that. How's that work? Length 7 meters, 145. So it's like a cone basically. 7 145 cone. 7 120 cone. Oh. What's that? 22 to 30. Well, that's not too much damage, of course. Hobbled for 15 seconds. What's hobbled again? Right, that's not too bad. And Fan of Flames, how much does that? 33 to 46. I mean, yeah, that's almost twice as much, right? I mean, so this is only decent for the hobbled then, and it's got a slightly larger cone, but I don't feel like that's going to be useful a lot of the time, so generally it'd be always better to cast the Fan of Flames, I guess, except for the hobbled. Dexterity reduced, so they can be hit easier by, and reflex easier by ranged fighters, right? Which actually isn't that bad, considering you have that many. Alright, alright. Sunless grasp, no. Nope. High chance to interrupt this. That's what? 45 to 70 damage almost. That's pretty good. I mean, of course, 3 projectiles means DRs. DRs counted for every missile, so that's going to be a lot less. Yeah, I think we'll take this one out and do the ghost blades instead. Maybe use that a bit more, just to make our ranged casters a bit more effective. Alright, now we've
Yeah?
dealt with all the party issues. Next thing, we wanted to go into the Hall of Mysteries, right, and get that book. Don't really need fast mode anymore, I guess. Or, I mean, yeah. Find the Elder Archives. I mean, that's this store right here, isn't it? Elder Archives. Without Grimdar's permission.
Hey there.
I guess they're gonna attack me if I walk in there. Well, let's talk to Grimdar.
Welcome.
Ever inquisitive, I see. An animancer named Nedin asked me to retrieve the theorems of Pengram from the Elder Archives. Grimdar's impressive frown deepens. Thank you for letting me know. I'll be sure to tuck that tome away from prying eyes, and see that this Nedwin never sets foot in here again. In the meantime, here, a token of our appreciation. Wait, what? I didn't want that, though. Yeah, is that what we wanted? To see her barred entirely? It seems a fearsome price to pay. Knowledge dangled just out of reach makes a tempting prize for any soul. Yeah, no, I thought we could, like, ask for permission to enter here. Also, I probably shouldn't have done quick load, but load the autosave instead. Yeah. So, do we have to fight our way in? Can we sneak?
Sure.
Can we talk to Fexa?
Greetings.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, they just straight
Easy
up
does it.
see her. The letters of Agmunda the Wise. I'm not normally one to condone theft, Salgiat, but... Oh, that's Kana, okay. Alright, I guess... I mean, sure. What do we have? Yeah.
Hang on!
Alright. She was sneaking, though. Why didn't she detect that trap? She has pretty high mechanics. Is it a very advanced
Sure.
trap, then, I guess? Alright.
Yeah?
I mean, it seems like they saw her straight up, right? But didn't really do anything when I snuck in here. Alright. See if she... No. She doesn't detect the trap. Alright, good to know. I mean, I could have someone else just take the blow. 375, like her, for instance. She still has high health. That metagaming. I should probably get out of the cloud. Theorems of Pangram.
I'm on the trail.
Yeah?
Hello, I'm not doing anything illegal at all. No. Alright. What does the quest say? Return to Nedin outside the Blackenbury Sanitarium. I found the Theorems of Pangram in the Elder Archives. Nedin will be pleasantly surprised to see it. Can I have a look at that book? Let's go outside,
there.
though. Don't want to see anyone here reading. I don't want anyone to see me reading that book in here. Okay. Oh, that's another one, though. Where's the quest items? Here. A heavy old book that carries the dust of centuries. The pages are as fine and thin as onion skin and covered with obscure diagrams and notes on animancy. Alright. So go back here. See what the animancer has to say. Blackenbury, 12 minutes. Yes. She was here.
Good day, stranger.
Nedin, giver the Theorems, you'll never believe what I found. You, Lady of Lament, you really found it. Nedin cradles the musty tome like a newborn. I can't believe it really exists. She looks back at you. Thank you so much. This will be invaluable. She almost turns to the book, but at the last moment she remembers herself and gives you a bag of coin. Yeah. Is that all? Ah, of course. She pulls a ring from her finger. It may not look like much, but I've always been able to use this ring to generate a little extra money when I was between stipends. It's critical for someone doing research without the benefit of a wealthy patron. She smiles weakly and hands it to you. Please, take it. You've certainly given me a resource I couldn't have found on my own. Ring of Eternal Funding. That sounds good. Anything else? I'll leave you alone. What does this do? +5 copper? What? This plain gold band contains a power that belies its simple appearance. It's been passed between animancers, wizards, and other scholars for centuries, because it provides a steady income to the wearer, allowing him or her to pursue research without being tied to a particular patron. I mean, how often do I get +5 copper? Just every time I put it on, or? Who's not wearing a ring right now? Yeah, sure, let's give it to Alof. Oh, also you can have 2 rings, I guess. Alright, so I don't get copper every time I put it on, right? Okay. 476. 476. 476. It's not working! I don't know, maybe it's like every 5 minutes or so. Interesting.
Yeah?
Or maybe it doesn't work at all. Just hear me out. Oh, a quest? No. Alright. What quests do we have left then? Right, Ondra's Gift. First Fires. Endless Paths. And the Old Watcher is Find Merwold? No. Oh yeah, this is kind of still bugged, the main quest. That's really weird. I don't know how to advance here. Unwanted? Yeah. I think the... I think this one was tied to the main quest, right? And I believe you might be able to find more about Six's as well as Death in Defiance Bay. The archive in the Ducal Palace. Where's that at? So this one is to Ondra's Gift. That's one way we could go. Hadred House. First Fires. I mean, yeah, let's go to Ondra's Gift. First Fires is this one, Heritage Hill. Yeah. 1 day, 24 hours. No. This is 12 minutes, yes.